in the comment section, if you're watching us on YouTube, let us know 2 things. Do you eat pineapple on pizza? And number 2, what is the worst credit story, or what's the worst thing credit has done to you?
Happy New Year's, and you feel like, New Year's resolutions.
New year, new me.
Goals. Don't. Happy the worst part, you'll be like, I'm gonna join gym, and then they tell you, okay, it's cheaper
to sign up for 12
10
months.
years.
No,
They never say 12 months. 12 months is too little. They always sell 5, 10, 15 years.
Actually, they don't sell it with the 15 years. They sell it with, health is a journey.
And you will never not want your health first. This. Guys, please. Hey, housemates.
We're in the house.
Guys, welcome back to our channel.
Welcome back.
I'm Dumi.
And I'm Sandiso.
And this is the Ngwenyas house.
Ngwenyas house? Oh, yeah. Can I want the podcast?
Yeah.
We always have this moment where, as we're starting, we have to pause because when
we're
open,
confused.
when you open on the channel, it's different. But guys, today we're out at Smack Pizza Company. We usually come here to have lunch, but today they said we could actually record our podcast. So here we are today. Today we're talking about credit.
Yeah, the Smack and Pizza we are at is the one in Greenstone. Wonderful place. We are always here.
Actually,
we are literally always. I think that's why they actually said yes, you can record, because we are regular customers. I feel like it feels very like home here. But anywho, I was just telling you where the Smack and Co is.
Yeah, but like I was saying, today we're going to be talking about credit, guys, because credit has been a part of our relationship since practically the beginning of our relationship. But before we continue, as usual, cheers to more life, more living, and more. Is it dope?
Conversations.
More dope conversations. Yo, guys, where do we even start with credit, babe? Why do we even? Why?
I feel like I was the one that actually started first with credit, but. Before let's talk about, because people will be like, I've never had credit. If you've done a time advance,
why?
It starts with the time advance. Then from there it goes down. So my first ever thing with credit was a time advance. And I remember getting a lesson from my parents, like, you can't spend money you don't have, because that's what credit is. My dad would be...
Why were you getting an airtime advance?
Because, in the first place, but it was a time when Mixit was big. I was so addicted to Mixit, guys. I was addicted. Please, in the comment section, if you are listening to us on YouTube and on other streaming platforms, if you can engage, tell us exactly. Were you addicted? You were born at 2008, 9. Mixit was the thing, and I was so addicted to Mixit. But it was a time where I had a time.
What was your username?
I started innocent. When I started with Mixit, I was pretty princess.
Hi, Bo.
Yes.
Or innocent, how dark did it go?
And then if it's scissor. Then when I got to high school, I was too hot to handle.
Yes,
So basically that's where the chat started with credit. What is it? So that's my first time actually knowing what the constructs of credit are. You are actually borrowing money that you need to pay later. A lot of people don't actually understand that
it's not free
when
money,
you get credit, it's not free money. It feels like free money right there when you can use it, but you have to pay it back. And I remember my dad would buy me airtime at the end of the month. And then because of my airtime advances, the airtime would go. Then I was in a hole of always having to do airtime advance. But now the problem is if you get bought 12 rand exactly airtime. When the money comes, when they collect, they add 1 rand to it. So you are actually at a negative already. So that was actually my first brush with credit. And that's how plainly explained credit is. So and then got to varsity. Before I met you, um, I wanted these boots at Rage. I wanted them so bad.
Wait. Before you get to that, I'm trying to think.
Oh, your thing. If you've ever
No,
experienced.
if I've ever had an airtime advance, I'm trying to think.
Did they have it in Swaziland?
Yes, it's called go back to in. It's
Why
not called
did
the
you switch off the
airtime
mic?
because I was chewing.
Oh.
I don't know what it's called, but yeah, they have it in Swaziland. It's the same thing. When you book it, they add like is it 1 rand or something on top?
Yeah, they do. You have when you pay back because that's how they make their profit. What is it that when you have to pay back, then you think.
No, I've never had I have, but it was later on in life. It wasn't for Mixit.
Yeah, for me it was definitely for Mixed. That's what was finishing my data. But guys, back in the day, 12 rand could last you a full month because from how I remember, my
Yeah,
dad would buy
data
me
was-
airtime at the end of the month.
Also at that
30
time,
rand.
come and babe, like phones weren't even like things that
Yeah, we were
consumed
just
high quality
chat, yeah.
images or anything. Like,
We were just chatting and everything. So yeah, so that was my first thing with credit, and the fact that I got a lesson because my dad was like, "You can't keep on doing this." So and explaining what
how did your dad catch you with
high
airtime
level-
advance?
catch me. He's the one that buys me airtime, and then next thing I'm
Oh, yeah,
asking
asking for
because now
airtime,
airtime
hunty.
advance took all the money and their gonna get
And the extra.
and their into interest. It's called interest. Yeah, and their interest.
Yeah.
So that was the first thing. Then and then after that it was more like at hostel.
Yeah, then we can go to your
Yeah.
range and your boots. One
Yeah.
thing about Dumi, she'll want clothes.
Yeah,
She,
so-
as from when I've met her, she's
I've loved clothes. I've never not loved clothes, and by the time I got that bit of freedom, in varsity to I was so exposed to like malls and stuff like that, and I was obsessed. So what happened was I used to get pocket money at 1,500, and that would cover like groceries, toiletries, electricity. Then I think the rest like living for the rest of the month. And these boots I wanted was 600. So out of 1,500, if you take away 600 and you still need to contribute like 700 to groceries, 200 to thing, you can't.
Wait.
No, like this is my
Hold on.
reason. I can't
Wait
just
a
take
minute.
600, that's a lump sum, and buy these boots.
so I thought you couldn't afford the boots.
I couldn't, yes, that's what. I couldn't afford the boots. Then they were like, when you're at Rage, they write 26 rand per month or 46 rand per month. So you're thinking, okay, I can get these boots, then I'd be paying 46 rand per month, right?
Yeah.
These are the only things I'm going to get on credit. And then I got the credit and it was approved. They didn't have issues that I was a student. They just
That's
needed
very
to
wild.
see. Yeah,
That is
it's
very
so
wild
crazy,
for me.
right? It's
That,
so
like,
crazy.
how can you
They
trust
just
as
need
student?
They just
with-
needed proof that I have the 1,500. No, I had 3 months. I guess they take 3 months bank statement. You
Yeah.
apply there, you walk around for 2 hours, it's approved. You don't even have to be there long. It's approved, and then I got my boots.
You know, it's so wild that
I even think my first credit limit was 1,200.
how
So imagine this person.
how
I'm getting 1,500 per month and I have living expenses, then I get my first credit limit.
remember that
to
on top of that
1,002.
limit, if your limit is 1,002, it means you're paying back practically like over 1.5.
That's if you didn't.
No, that's not
yes,
even.
yes,
That's
yes.
if, when you were a student, you like if you're a
Uncle,
student.
I'm building up. Okay.
No, it's fine. I know, but if you're a student and you get caught in that trap, not everybody like thinks about like has like lessons from back home like you because you've got a history of credit with airtime advance where you know would see like nah dog
Credit
yeah,
must
credit
be,
must be
yeah,
paid back
yeah.
like when you like that's what I'm saying
Most
it's wild
most
it's wild
students don't even know that concept.
yeah
I
that's
have
what
a
I'm
friend
saying
that
it's
once
wild
told me,
that
okay, like
like they can
they
give
took a card. Oh, sorry.
I'm saying that's something like it's wild that you can go and give a student who's like you can see that all she gets is 1.5, and then you're going to go and give her 1,200 rand and say, yeah, come and shop, and they don't even say you go see like no, your limit is one point whatever. They'll say to you, yeah, come and you can spend the 1.2, it's fine. That's all they say.
Yeah.
And you go crazy like, how are you giving a student from how?
Brad, no. And I have someone that once told me that they went and took a credit limit of 5,000, blew it all, and then next month, like, Cotton was like, I don't know, I just remember that she spent the money at Cotton On and everything. And then next month, they expect her to pay. And she was like, why am I paying? I thought I'd pay when I'm ready, whenever it's not whenever you are ready. The next it's the next month. So yeah,
You know
for
where
me,
the danger
I was
is.
you know where
You
the
know where
danger
the
is.
danger is. The
Even
danger
the
is,
bears.
the danger is watching the trip. Taking the trip, you can pay whenever.
No, whenever you choose to. If you decide, you know what, in 2 years I'm ready to pay back this 4,000, you'll pay. No, by the 30 days you have to start paying back your credit.
So,
So for
you
me,
were
when I
not
got
rich.
my credit card, my rage, I was like, I'm just gonna buy these boots, right? And the boots were 600. My credit was 1.2. I was like, fine. Then I'm gonna pay 40 rand for the 12 months to pay off the boots. The problem was I passed rage every day. That was the problem. And then I used up my credits. So once you use up your credit, obviously you have to pay back. Then you can start using again.
So you
That's
kept on
another
shopping.
thing
So
that's
you
toxic.
kept on shopping at
Yeah.
Rage.
I-
You had an outrageous shopping habit.
That's another thing that people don't talk about actually. That it's so wild that as soon as you pay and you have that gap, instead of like saying I'm paying this off, you're like, there's this gap now, I can buy something else.
Yeah.
Because for them you paid off the historical thing, then you're taking additional credit. So you will always owe them.
But let's be honest. Let's be honest. You know, obviously speaking from our perspective and speaking from my perspective, let's just be honest. When you have the credit, you'll be thinking about the right thing to do. But when the time comes for you to do the right thing, which you've been thinking about all month, every single day, ucabanga like, it's okay, as soon as I get money, I'm going to pay this off. What happens? You're going to that store to pay and you see something else and you're like, that, I like that. And you know what? Kinalishalete. Kinalishalete. I'm going to swipe on that account. On that account. And that's where the danger is that you forget. Obviously, we're talking about this now because this like the credit thing started so long ago. That's what the danger is that it also becomes a habit. Like it also becomes a habit that like now, okay, every time you want to shop, you're going to shop on that account, and like you start with one account and then you go to another account. And also the one thing that we also got to talk about, I know we're building to it, but still, I feel like let me just put it in. And also the other thing that they also entice you by saying yes, when you open the account it's going to help you build your credit score, even when your credit score, even when you're a student, they already throw that thing into the
To the mix that it's gonna build your credit score, which means you can get like bigger credit going on and everything.
exactly. And
So it's like it's a positive thing that you're doing by taking the credit, but it's only positive for your credit score if the credit you are paying it off diligently.
and you are staying away from the danger.
Actually, I didn't like I forgot this. So now I'm like, oh okay, I've gotten Rage, but Rage only sells shoes, clothes there, but not the bombers clothes. Was I not addicted to Mr. Price? I was, but I used to buy cash. Fine. then I was like, no, I need to get more from Mr. Price. And I remember at that time, my roommate, she had a Mr. Price card, but I didn't know that it's a Mr. Price card that's in her mom's name. But she would buy like every month.
Swipe penny.
But it was a Mr. Price credit card. It was not like preloaded with money. It was a credit. So for me, I was like, you know what? Let me go to Mr. Price, because now I have this one. I can take more, because that's where the danger is. Initially, when I took that one, I was thinking 40 rand per month to pay off these shoes. Then you're
Which
like,
was
okay,
enough.
it's nice to have credit, so let me go to Mr. Price and then get a credit, like the card. Did the application. My thing is still 1,500, and then Mr. Price rejected it. They don't do students. And bruh, imagine
Price
if they
wants
did
the big
student.
dogs.
Yeah, no,
They want to
didn't do
bamba.
they prefer their parents, even though their parents buy for their kids there. So they said no. They rejected my application. I was so sad. I was so gutted. Anyway, that's what happened with Mr. Price, and I'm so happy they rejected it that time, because I was so addicted. Even now, like, we all know the chokehold Mr. Price has on all of us. We all know it. So
And also,
imagine
thank
as
God.
a student who's addicted to shopping, I got Mr. Price. Next time, I'll spend 600. Next, I'll spend the full thing.
That's if they gave you like even a credible limit. Anyway, as Duma was saying before she veered off, then when we met, I knew nothing about credit. Let me not say I knew nothing, but actually, I knew nothing about credit. I wasn't even a person that like was dressing like I wasn't like really fashionable or anything. And I didn't even know what accounts were. I To the point that I don't even remember why I opened an account. Like I actually had no reason to open an account, but it was also about something to do with credit score or something, if I remember correctly. Because
I think I want to think so.
yeah, because I didn't have. I
Because
opened it. It was at Markham. It was
I
Markham.
remember.
It was
And
Markham, I think. And
want
I
to
didn't
speak.
need. I
And
didn't
these
need
stores
anything.
are so expensive.
Yeah.
Now, Hannah, like a store like Mr. Price that had items that are both 40 rand, 60 rand, doesn't allow credit for students. And then
Markham, where like you're not going to get anything at Markham.
because my next two credit cards were.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to also remember. Was why did I even open that?
Because Markham was the only
credit
one
thing?
with men's clothing that could give you credit, actually.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I don't know why I wanted to get the clothes on credit, because it's not like I was buying clothes a lot or
No.
anything like that.
Remember when they used to advertise, get your identity card or your Truest card, whatever, and you get 500 vouchers. Kante, the voucher you have to spend.
You have to spend a certain amount before
Yeah.
they can actually deduct.
But we
It's another
applied.
trap, that one.
We applied anyway. Then they gave us the card. Then they say you have the 500, but you'll get 100 rand if you spend
So
this.
Grand Shopper was
Yeah.
just liking things.
I think we were liking things, and you
Grand
saw that I
Shopper
was
was
doing it,
liking
so it
things.
was like, okay, cool.
What was the first thing I bought?
Probably
Or was it pants?
no, because the leather jacket was from Identity. The
Yeah.
cream one was from Identity.
Yeah.
You don't even remember the
Dog.
things you get, and that's what, like, I want to get to this before. So my next cards was Identity and Truers. Those places, minimum prices for their items is like both 400 and stuff, and you are giving someone that has an allowance of 1,500. You are giving them credit for such things.
Dog. I really don't get why stores do that. Obviously, at the time when you're a student, a lot of people, always watching from our perspective, a lot of people can't even afford to buy clothes and shit.
Yeah.
Like, at all. But
So-
still, like, it doesn't make sense. Why is a shop like Identity and things like that giving
For me, like,
students credit?
like most of the helpers, because guys, I don't know, I like staring at people. I have this thing of just consuming details. So I've seen with most of our helpers, they wear Ginger Mary, that's true. It's those type of things, because those shops actually do give people that are low income credit. and that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna buy from those stores and convince yourself, okay,
That-
you'll pay it off for 12
So
months.
it's the feeling. I think it's also the feeling of wearing clothes from those shops. Because I mean, like, no, baby, you must remember. To some people,
For some people, it is.
like buying at Markham is something that's huge. For some
Yeah.
people, buying at Truworths, that's something that's huge. There's a lot of ways for these things to trap you and to find yourself like getting credit that's like not necessary. But the biggest one that I want us to focus on, because of what we're talking about our credit journey and we're talking about how where we started, the things that has been through and where we are now, is that the biggest thing, that the biggest load that they will push to you with regards to credit is that you have to start somewhere to build a credit record. Because in order for places to give you credit, like significant credit or useful credit, they want to see that you pay things back.
On my side, getting credit in varsity was never even about credit score. I didn't know anything about credit score. I didn't know anything. I just got credit because I felt, okay, I could take 40 rand from here, 100 rand from here, and it starts piling up because you're like, oh, now I want to open identity, now I want to open Truworths and everything. And it starts piling up what you have to pay back. Because remember, I started with Rage, then I tried Mr. Price, then Truworths and Identity were just easy. So I didn't know anything about credit score, but I was just I was taught from my parents that you never not pay your credit. And I remember how I was taught is because my cousin, she also had bipolar disorder. So she took so many credits and everything like that. Then when it came to time to pay it, she had lost her job and everything. And they will send you letters on letters on letters and letters. And everyone in my family actually uses our post box because I just pay for one bride, just letters. So we get like once you haven't paid for so long, the letters are not white anymore. They're purple,
So that doesn't only
orange,
happen in
red,
movies.
yellow. No, they don't. They're not white anymore. And like, I think it's a universal credit thing. The letters are colorful, I guess, to grab your
Yeah.
attention. But my mom told me, Hore, when she started her nursing job, when she was still a nursing student, Lena, a similar thing happened to her because she had an income she was paying. Then there was a period after I was born where like she didn't have a job, and they will send you letters and everything. So you must make sure when you get credit, you can pay it off, and you pay it off, or else there are consequences.
Yeah.
So for me, I just made sure that I paid my credit for the whole time, which was a good thing. But because I didn't know about credit score, I paid off my credit when I finished third year. And I think I paid off like it was 3,000 now when everything was added up.
But 3,000 is a lot of
It's
money.
a lot of money. The
Especially at
only
that
reason,
time.
yeah,
Especially
3,000
at
is a
that
lot of
time.
money because I was not working or anything. And the only
And
reason
there was
I
no
had
other money that you
3,000.
think it's going to come
Yeah.
or anything like that.
The only reason I had 3,000, remember Devotion failed. We were saving up for a trip as a group, had a WhatsApp group and everything. And Saniso and I were the only people
Were
paying
paying every
into the
month.
group. So
One
when
thing about us will always sacrifice the
we
travel,
will,
so-
yeah, we've always wanted so much to travel, so it's such a blessing now that we are doing it. And we were like, if we keep on including people, sorry, I'm going off rail,
No, it's fine,
but we're
but that's
like,
what happens,
if we
yeah.
keep on including people, we are never gonna travel. So
Yeah.
guys, if there's one person that wants to travel with you and they're serious, just travel.
Take that.
Wabona
This
nto
deserves.
we'll
This
do
deserves.
it. We'll do it as a group. We'll do.
This deserves an oh yes. If you find one person and they're going
Even
to
by
travel,
yourself.
dog, can I get an oh
Yes.
Oh yes.
So, no, even if it's just yourself and you really want to travel, there's so
Just do
many
it,
people
dog.
that travel alone. Just learn about like safe travel destinations. That's all. So yeah, that's where I got the 3,000 to pay off my credit, and I closed the account.
Unlike Dumi over here, I wasn't so smart. I went into working life with my accounts. Like, why am I saying with my accounts? Because what I
You
closed
just had
Truist. No,
markup.
I had Truist.
Oh, yeah.
I had Truist as well, but I closed it. I don't even remember when I closed it.
I think
but
Lena Uyenza devotion money.
I think so.
Yeah.
But I went into working with my Markham account. When you start working, they don't even waste time. As soon as they see at least 3 times the same amount of money that's gone in,
No, remember it wasn't. Your first credit working. You didn't even have to have, you just had to have evidence that you are employed because you got your PlayStation. Remember?
oh shit, why am I even forgetting this? No, but that was also based on having the credit record.
Oh, because you didn't even close. Oh, yeah, that's
that was
actually, yeah.
based like my first credit when I started working was I now opened an Edgar's. What is it called? Is it Edgar's? I then opened an Edgar's account and I got a PlayStation. But the only reason they gave me that, which is a good side about credit, one of the good things about credit, if you're a
You
good
can get
payer,
more
if
credit.
you're a good payer, you can get more credit, but you must choose wisely the extra credit that you're getting. Use the positives wisely, because then I got the Edgar's thing for the PlayStation. But where I was going with this is, as soon as you start working, they
Yeah.
are going to be.
They offer you, I don't know where they get your number, but no, as soon as one gets your number, all of them you'll
They
be
have
getting,
them.
you qualify for a pre-approved 6,000 from here.
Bruh,
This, and this.
congratulations.
Congratulations.
Like,
It's
what?
not congratulations if you're offering me credit, but like a lot of people get excited about that. Even with loans, I'm so happy we never got into loans. But
Didn't I get into a?
Kinda,
I
why
did
did
have-
you
I
get it?
did. I
No,
don't
it was
remember.
once. It was the
The one that I
time
closed off, but I did get a loan.
you got it for
for-
studying, and then
Was
you
it?
didn't need to use it because SAA then gave you thing.
Oh,
Then instead of
yes.
just paying back, even though that it had interest, you used that money.
I remember.
Yeah,
I remember.
but before, babe, we talk about we didn't get into loans. We did. Remember, until FMB.
Yeah, I was getting there.
Oh, okay.
I was getting there, kid. And they offer you all these things. Before they even start with the big things, for like get up to congratulations, you qualify for a cash power loan of up to 250,000. People even get there. If you bank with FNB, there's this thing on the app.
Yeah, as soon as you open
As
it,
soon-
they'll be
yeah.
like offering you
Yeah.
1,500 in what is it called?
It's a temp loan.
Oh yeah,
So
temporary loan.
they give you the maximum temp loans can go up to like my 10K. But they start offering you on the app, which says you can get a temp loan of up to thing. But a temp loan you have to pay within 30 days. I'm gonna say no, it's literally 1 month after you get your first salary. They know it's okay. The site's gonna come in this month.
Now
have to
you owe
pay
them
it.
forever because they
Exactly.
will offer you a temp loan that's equal to. Because I remember in university they used to offer me temp loans that are equal to the 1,500 I get every month.
And you know the danger is they'll offer you that temp loan, you take that one. Remember, most people already have other credit obligations like me. When we took the temp loan started for small things because we wanted to go and to get alcohol on a Friday or something. You started a small thing about 200 or like 350 or what,
For both pizza, like
for
Home's
both
pizza, a
and,
bra.
for things like that. I already had a credit.
For it was not even for needs.
It was for
It was
useless
really
stuff.
for ones
It was
useless things.
Useless
But
things.
like the access to credit actually drives you crazy.
You still have all those other obligations. Then you get the first temp loan you paid back. As soon as you paid back, because now you're behind. Because remember, a temp loan also comes with extra money, and temp loan is actually the interest on a temp loan is actually very high.
It's very high.
It's
Huge.
it's close. It's not double, but it's like a lot. It's almost as when you paid back. It's almost like you paid double. I'm just saying it's a high amount.
I'm so glad that we are recalling from far for this thing because wow, there was a time we had it every month. Anyway, I don't know, yeah.
Yeah.
But not double.
Yeah, but it's a high amount. I'm saying when you pay it, it feels like you're paying double because especially when you're taking the small amounts. Because if you borrow 200 rand and you have to pay back like 300 rand or something like that, that's a lot of money. And when you pay that money back, remember you're not borrowing from extra money.
You
still
are
have
taking from your
from your
income.
income. You're still taking
That
from.
hasn't changed.
Thank you.
from last month.
Thank you. There's nothing
It's
extra.
still the same.
So now next month you're short from somewhere within your budget. And what are you going to do? Oh,
Take another one.
Puchu.
Take
And you're
another
never
one.
going to take the amount you need or less than the amount, no, actually the amount that you need. You're always going to take more. And it becomes a pattern. You take more. Oh, I got to a point where I was actually living temple to temple every
Yeah.
month. Like it's a very dangerous lane to walk, and credit is addictive. It's very addictive.
So, oh my God, you should not actually, please, if you can, don't start. Because there's a time where you will, and there's this thing in your head where like you get that gratification of, okay, cool, I just got this amount. But when it's due now, it becomes an issue.
Yeah.
Because for me, I closed off my credit and it was so nice when I started to work and I had all this money and it was all my money. Okay, obviously there was rent, food and stuff, but that's things that actually make life comfortable. For me,
Yeah.
I'm not unhappy to pay rent and pay like for food and stuff because I feel like that those are the things that make my life easy.
One thing that we've actually always done, we've number one made sure we have food in the house, and number two, we pay all our bills.
Yes.
And credit has always been taken as a bill in our
a bill
thing.
that must be paid. Yeah.
Anyway, let's just take a quick break whilst they do this thing, and then we'll come back and
Continue the conversation. For me, I feel like the craziest thing with credit and the lack thereof of education around credit makes people make such bad decisions. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to credit, how they determine your affordability is crazy, right? Because right now you could be earning 15,000 and then you are offered a credit loan, personal loan. So there's personal loans, there's loans where it's like a home loan that's a bond, and then there's what are the other loans that you could get? Yeah, basically. But when you're getting like the easiest ones to get are the personal loans and the personal loans and
It's the unsecured ones.
The unsecured loans are so easy to get, and the minimum requirements are crazy for me because at the end of the day, every time they are determining it, you'll be like, okay, I'm paying this much for rent, and they don't consider rent under your expenses.
Wait, sorry, hold on. I don't think it's the unsecured ones that are easier to get.
It is.
Really?
It is. You get stories where people are like, I was not approved for the home loan I want, for the bond I want, but if I get a personal loan, I can, it's easier to get a personal loan and
That's
everything,
actually
and the
true.
interest is super high. So it's not even a good idea. I'm not a financial advisor, so I'm not gonna speak about. I'm just saying it's so crazy. Like, what is your determining factor that this person is gonna afford a personal loan that's not even secured by anything that you can take back? And then,
but it's like that. We're getting political or whatever. It's like that because they make more money from the unsecured one because the interest is higher.
That's true.
And if they make it easy for people to get, they're gonna go and get that. But it's so crazy that like I can go and get a personal loan, and when I want to get a house, you're gonna tell me how are we sure that you're going to pay back. Like, what do you mean? How are you sure? I pay rent.
Yes.
Every month.
The rental amount is not considered even when they are calculating. Because I've seen like, don't do this, but when I've wanted to increase my credit limit, they will be like your expenses, because it's with FNB, they know my expenses, but that money that goes out for rent is never considered in my expenses. So every time, like when they're offering your car a loan and everything, your rent doesn't matter because financial institutions don't care if you're homeless or not. As long as there's money that can go to them, that's fine.
It's crazy that like the bank will say to me that like, okay, I'm going to give you 200,000 rand unsecured, 200,000 bucks, and it's yours. You'll pay 27% interest or even 30%. It's fine.
What do you think the percentage says?
Google right now how much like interest you get from it's 27% for a personal loan unsecured.
Can I ask Siri?
I'm telling you, Google it. I'm telling you, Google it right now.
I am.
And I want
Hey
Siri.
Siri, how much is interest
Average.
on a personal loan?
Average.
I found this on the web. How much is interest on a personal loan? Check it out.
Go to.
What did I just say?
Okay, yeah, it's very high. It's actually very, very, very
That's
high.
what I'm trying to explain.
Yeah.
Unsecured lending is like it's super high. Let me just say, when you are in a space and you're trying to get a loan, like just like from a personal loan, when you're going to personal loans and things like that, it's because you are in a fix. So you're going to try and get that. Because sometimes you even take a personal loan, you have 15K, you'll take the smallest personal loan, but people don't think about the interest and stuff like that. All you focus on is how much am I paying? You forget to look at the interest, and the interest on those things is super high. But it's crazy that the bank will do that and give you 200K for practical interest as opposed to giving you a house, where the house, they can sell the house, they can kick you out after a certain period of time, but they can sell it. I don't understand how it makes sense. And even this you never also obviously think about these things from before, but even the thing of like, if you're earning, like the example which you heard earlier, which you're earning 20K and they're going to give you 200,000, how are you going to pay for 200,000 rand, which is that's your gross, that's like your yearly gross practically.
And also the term of the what is it, non-secured loans is
Finish. I don't know.
guys, the pizza is so amazing. Oh my god. And I'm one of those people that love pineapple on pizza. Like,
No, pineapple on pizza is fine.
it's
dog.
a classic for me.
It's
I know
fine.
you can fight in the comment section about this one.
I think, yeah, in the comment section, if you're watching us on YouTube, let us know two things. Do you eat pineapple on pizza? And number two, what is the worst credit story, or what's the worst thing credit has done to you? Or
Yes,
what is your
please,
credit
I
story?
need to
Please
know those
share.
things.
Please share with us in the comment section.
Actually, I've read a Facebook thread. That's the saddest thing I've read, where even people get credit on. I used to think my mom was so mean for saying no to taking my car on her name, because obviously for me I was thinking that's when I was more educated about credit. So I was thinking, oh, lower interest because she has more years and everything. But still, taking credit on someone's behalf
It's a big
is not,
risk.
even if it's your child, don't do it. Because at the end of the day, what if I was one of those people that quit jobs easily and everything, and I could just be like, oh no, my cousin, my mom's name, so she will pay, and she will be forced to pay because it affects her credit score. If she's not paying, it's not mine because it's in her name. So a lot of people have taken credit and phones and stuff on behalf of family members.
Yeah.
Excuse
Guys,
me, if
credit,
that
like-
family member can't even get credit for a phone, how are they gonna give you money? When we said they give you credit if you're getting 1.5, and that family member couldn't even get that, like, a thing for a phone, and you think they will pay you back when the bank said no.
Like,
Anyway,
actually,
that's
you know-
irrelevant, but,
no, it's actually very relevant. Like, guys, credit education is not something a lot of people have. You figure these things out a lot. Like, you figure these things out yourself as you're going through life. Guys, credit is everywhere. You can get a cell phone on credit. You can go to any shop and buy things. Okay, you can get groceries on
credit.
on credit.
No, for
And,
the longest time.
like,
You can get anything on credit, or you can just get a credit card and then you can get anything on credit, and that's how reckless all of us have been on credit. And it's just something that there's so much no education about, that people think credit is money they have, when they don't realize like credit is money that you actually don't have. And that's a lesson that we also learned as we grew
As
up,
we grew
and as
up.
we matured in this financial game. But it's actually so funny how they get us, and the fact that financial institutions will offer someone who earns 3,000 a credit limit of 12,000 at Truist. Like, what are you doing? What do you
Like,
mean? And it's not one. It's like, you know how you have your salary and there's like that thing, yeah, when you have bread and then the multiple chickens,
And then the chickens are like,
yeah, bite on your thing. It's like that.
Yeah.
Like a lot of credit financial providers want a piece of that salary until there's none.
You know, when you get into that whole year credit, because you get to a point where now you can't borrow, like when it's bad, you get to a point where now you can't borrow from anywhere because you owe FNB, you owe Wonga, you owe you owe Wonga, you
I'm
owe
sorry for laughing.
you owe FNB, you owe Wonga, you owe Telcom, Vodacom, whatever.
You
owe
Ghana,
DSTV
what's the
that's
other
switching
one?
off your TV.
The one
You
that
owe
takes your property.
you owe Cash Crusaders. You owe everybody because like now you've gotten so deep into that hole. It's like it feels it's hard. Like, you know, I think the hardest part about it is not actually paying the monies back. The hardest part about it is actually accepting the fact that you don't have money because now all the money you have doesn't belong to you.
Yeah.
It
And-
belongs to every single person that you actually owe, and you have to pay that money back. That's the one
And
key
a lot of
thing
people
that's
like, because there's always going to be someone advertising, even if you are blacklisted, even
come and
if
get,
you are thing, you can still get a loan, because there's always those financial institutions that even if you are blacklisted and everything, they're still
they
willing to
still-
offer you,
yeah.
because there's always room until you are dead and not breathing anymore. There's always room for them to take a 10 rand for you per month, a 2 rand from you per month. But like, it's so crazy.
It's just cause like, guys, another thing that's credit that's a big scam is the gyms. Guys, it's
The
the
thing,
gyms.
guys, at New Year's, don't go to the gym. Having New Year's and you feel like, yeah, New Year's resolutions,
New year, new me.
goals. Don't. You know, happy the worst part. You'll be like, I'm gonna join gym, and then they tell you, okay, it's cheaper.
To sign up for 12
10
months.
years.
Oh, but, no, but
No, they never say 12 months. 12 months is too little. They always sell 5,
Yeah.
10, 15 years.
Yeah.
So 15 years, you find yourself, you'll be paying 170.
Bro.
That 170,
And how come
because
they
you
don't
signed
sell
a
it with?
contract.
I'm sorry for cutting you. How come they don't sell it with the 15 years? They sell it with, you know, health is a journey.
And you will never
you will-
not want your health first. This. Guys, please. Me, I think the longest gym thing I've signed is the 10-year one. And one, we were still in Kempton Park. I don't know what made me think I'd be living in Kempton Park for 10 years, that I would need to be in that gym for 10 years. And the way they confuse, that guy literally lied to me, be like, oh yeah, if you don't pay credit, what, but whoever does that, they do. They will
Whoever does
send you
that.
to lawyers that write in capital letters.
You will get calls from lawyers.
Yeah, and even if like you've moved to Nigeria, even if you've moved anywhere, you still need to settle that because you signed a contract. So if that 10-year period you are supposed to end up paying 15,000 in gym installments, you have to settle it, because sometimes it's physically impossible for you to still go to the gym, but because you signed a contract, it's
You
binding.
better be lifting those weights, my bro.
Bruh, like, don't just do the month-to-month payment. Yes, it's higher, but sometimes they sell it as it's cheaper to go for this route. It's cheaper to go for this route, but it's always not cheaper. Which is Anyway,
And guys, the thing I think we've both really learned about credit. Obviously, it's not the same for everybody, because you can't expect, for example, somebody that's earning 3,000 rand to be able to live without using credit. Some parents would be able to feed 7 kids,
Yes,
for example.
yes.
Feed 7 kids, take 7 kids through school, whilst 4 of them are in different stages of high school and primary. 3 of them are in university. They have to be paying accommodation for the ones in university. There's still food for home. There's still a car that has to be paid for. There's still maybe a bond, or maybe they're still renting because they can't afford to have a bond. There's a lot of different situations as to why credit is an important part of people's life. But the danger is when now you are not utilizing the credit for you. As we sit here and speak, number one, we're not financial advisors. Number two, we're not experts. We're just sharing from what we've learned. Even at this point as we talk, we're not at a place where we're really using credit oh my God, we're credit masters. Credit is doing whatever wonders for us. But we're at a point where we've cut the credit down to a place where we are able to actually pay it off. And if it's not paid off, it means we're not paying it off because it can still work to our benefit. But I think we've learned in the longest run, because we've been reckless credit spenders. We've been living off credit. There was a point I wanted to sell my PlayStation because I didn't have money anymore, and I needed to pay a temp loan. I needed to pay a credit card,
all
but
of those things.
All of
were
those
just
were piling up.
Oh, when you took them, you forgot your income only takes this much. But now there's these things now that start piling over the 12,000 you have. Now, your credit amounts to 15,000 because at the end of the day, for them, they are only looking at your 12,000. So as long as you are in 12,000 and you are paying 4,000 rand, that 4,000 rand they don't mind taking into it, because for them it's just they know you can move out.
Actually, we're busy saying for them. We're busy saying for them. I was them for a month.
Oh yeah,
I was actually them.
You worked for 2 months, I think. You worked at that credit place where you were
giving out credit,
and he couldn't do it. Shem, he couldn't. And I was just like, it's not a big deal, baby. You're just doing your job. But he couldn't, because he saw someone who used to earn 50,000, right?
There was one who earned.
There was a guy who earned
10,000, and another one who.
The one that got
30,
you your first big commission.
He earned 30K.
And all that 30K was going to credit, but because they saw a space. Actually, where did you see the space?
I found the space, babe.
You find a space or this usually goes to groceries. This can be used to pay us back. What you eat doesn't matter.
You
for
know
the
what they do.
credit,
You know what
providers,
they do. You know what you do. With my credit providers, all you do is you make your monthly expenses ridiculously low.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's a
people do
system.
that.
It's a system. You make the expenses ridiculously low. For example,
And people lie about those things.
Exactly. On your credit forms, they're not asking you how many kids you have, how many kids are you feeding, or all of those things. The only thing that's there that's important, your accounts, your clothing accounts, store accounts, whatever. Do you have a car that you're paying off? Do you have a bond that you're paying off? It's those things. Rent can be changed to whatever. You can go there and put 1,000 rand rent, knowing very well your rent
8,000
exactly.
for rent.
And it doesn't matter if your bank statement, when you go to your bank statement and now you're cross-checking, most of the time there's a way to overlook those things, and they do that. I never did that, just FYI. I never did that for those people, but there was a loop within, because I told them that it's not working. And they're no, what can we do? I need the money. Didn't need the money, but I told them, okay, we can maybe cut your groceries down, cut whatever, do 1, 2, 3, 4. It's possible. And that's what they do. And in that space, because the thing is, most people most people when they're going to get the credit, they're really in a space. They're really in like a tough spot, and that just you forget, and we're actually not liable.
Sometimes it's not even a tough spot, guys. It's not a tough spot to go out in December. Please. It's not a tough spot, really. It's not just. It's 4 is not a tough spot.
not.
But anyway.
Wait, say that again. Say that again. I forgot about my thing.
4 is not a tough spot.
Dango! It is not.
It's not.
FOMO.
It's not.
Dango! It's not a tough spot.
Yeah.
Exactly. Most people who are like really like going into the thing, they're in some sort of tough spot, so they don't care about that. And these financial people, they're not obligated to tell you anything because they're like, you must read the terms and conditions. They're not obligated to, unless it's a phone call. If it's face to face, they're not obligated to read. And when you'll take, guys, please tips when you're going to take credit out. They're not going to tell you. They're not going to tell you. Yeah, this 10,000 we're giving you is going to cost in the 36 months.
It's gonna cost you 25,000.
Exactly. In the 36 months, they're not going to tell you that. They're not going to tell you that the interest you're seeing, even if they say they're going to give you 15% interest, is compounded monthly. They're not telling you that it's you and I. When you think it's just 10,000, okay, times 1.15 plus initiation fee or whatever. Or maybe they won't even tell you about the initiation fees and stuff like that. But you're going to be paying this thing. If it's 36 months, you are going to pay it
and
for 36 months. And if you don't,
purple letter, red letter, yellow letter, you are going to get it. And then the lawyers that write in capital letters are going to come for you.
And if you want to pay it early, to show that this thing is actually not geared towards helping you, if you're going to pay it early, there's a penalty for paying early.
Actually, there's a penalty for paying your thing.
When I closed my personal loan, I had to pay a penalty because I was done with it. If it's Markham and then there's no penalty because like it's just a limit that is like it's revolving.
You just pay like what the credit is. So clothing accounts, it's easier to pay them off. Didn't know, just knew about the penalty at the personal loan.
No, it's not just personal loan. Even like unsecured lending, which is not revolving. Okay, in fact, I'm not a financial advisor, and please, in the comment section, correct me if I'm wrong. But I think it's things that are not revolving, like which have a set term, that like maybe a bond, the type
5
of
years.
like the bonds
personal
which
loans are like you're paying back for 3 years, and then now you decide to pay it off.
Early, or the bonds, or the bonds. Even I think any bond there's a penalty for closing, but maybe the bonds where you can tap into the money.
So now if I pay off my car, I have a penalty.
Yeah, you're going to have a penalty.
Oh damn!
But it's fine. The penalties are not huge things. But you must also remember when you're paying a lump sum, most people who have credit are not people that have lump sum. So maybe
that's true.
Maybe when you're paying that lump sum, you just have enough to cover what was left, but there's still also interest
that you need to cover.
And the interest is not covered when they show you that balance remaining.
Really?
It's not the balance remaining doesn't show you your interest. It doesn't show you your interest.
I'm getting a financial lesson myself.
No, the balance remaining doesn't show you your interest. Like with the credit card, the balance that's available, it's how much is available to you.
No. It's available, I'm aware of.
Yeah.
Like, but I
even
know like
with
your balance actually,
even
what
with the
you
personal
owe, like
loan,
even grows
even
on
with
month to month.
Even with a personal loan, when they show you the amount that's left, that's the amount left of what you borrowed. Because when you borrow...
Yes, I know, but I was saying the amount you have to pay off has interest every month. Yes, the interest... Guys,
that's
please,
what I'm saying.
The best thing I did for myself when I got my car, I got fixed interest. Was it ridiculous? Very ridiculous. Like I got 17% interest.
Which is super high.
That was literally a rip-off. That woman ripped us off and she was busy telling me, okay, this is the best I can get for you, especially because that time I had gotten a Mr. Price account thinking that was going to help me. And the reason why all the cars I got before didn't help me is because I closed them. That was the mistake I made. Even if you have multiple credit accounts that are in a healthy balance that have been paid off, it helps you when they make the decision about your thing. But for me, I thought it was a good thing to close them off. But anyway, 17%. So with interest,
guys, interest is a lot. Like, it's it's nice to use credit. Like, for example, sometimes it makes sense to, it's a personal choice, obviously. It's a personal choice. Sometimes it makes sense to use credit. For example, if you're buying an asset that's going to bring money in, but it's a very rare case for something that you're buying
And-
to be able to pay more than what you have to pay. For example, like a house that you're going to rent out.
And then people are saying like, oh, they'll be able to pay more.
Yeah, for example, like a house that you're going to rent out. Sometimes, in most cases, actually, I'm not a property expert, but I've read a lot because there was a time I wanted us to do that. Most of the time, you're not breaking even for years. And like if you're still paying rent, your own bond, you don't have any additional income, and there was a space within your budget for you to have a bond that was approved, and you think would say like, okay, I'm going to get that bond to go into an investment property. That credit is something that like it's most of the time it's not you're not able to break even. And things like that, and the expenses that come.
And if something is
with-
not bringing you, if something
It's
you're
not-
paying for is not giving you profit, it's a liability. Let's say it together: liability.
Can I get an oh yes? Dongo.
Awesome.
Oh yes. It's a liability.
So-
and those are things
But
that like
I
you-
also want to say something about credit, because we are speaking about credit from a point of view where, like, realistically, we can afford everything without credit. Obviously, bigger things like houses, cars, at this point, we can't afford them without credit. The goal is to get to a point where we can kind of afford them with credit, but it's always good to put some of the risk on the bank.
On the bank,
Even
not on
if you
yourself.
can afford, you can still put some risk on the bank. It's easier for
Spread
you in
the
the
risk.
long run, spread the risk. But I'm talking now back to people that are minimum income,
I know.
like 3,000, 5,000. My
You
best
know,
advice
even-
is if
can
you're
I,
going to
wait,
get
can
credit.
I just say one thing
Yeah.
because you're talking about minimum income? Like, you know, with the state of living right now, I honestly
Not
feel
minimum income, even someone that's earning like 15,000. I don't
that's
know.
what
like,
I'm about to say. That like I'm not correcting you. Don't get annoyed. I'm saying I just feel like, you know, the definition of minimum income should be very different right now, because even with 15K that you're getting,
Especially in the
taking in where we are right now.
in Joburg, no, 15,000 in Kaka, like, is
Okay.
different from
Yeah.
15,000 in Joburg.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
it's so much
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, for 15K in Joburg, it's not a lot. It's really not
There's
a lot.
actually nothing.
Yeah, if you're alone, like if you, for example, you work around Joburg, Sandton, Pretoria, wherever in the main metros. Like for example, 15K you're renting. Rent is literally, like say it's 8,000 rand, and you're taking home 15K. Now, how much are you? How much are you left with? That's 7K.
7.
And then if you're renting,
Groceries.
and exactly if you go and live at a cheaper area, say that's 5K. But now there's petrol. That's 5K for rent. Now there's a car. You're going to be paying another 4K for the car. And then there's insurance. Let's just say best case scenario 500 rand. And then there's petrol 2,000 rand. Groceries. Is there still even any money left?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's I just wanted to
So,
put that
and then
into
sometimes
perspective.
you want to finish your place, like enjoy some things and everything. But for me, if you realistically yourself calculate the credit for yourself, don't let them, don't let the banks or the financial institutions calculate it for you, because they take away even from the rent, the groceries, the realities that you're living. Say, okay, this is how much I'm paying, and then on a monthly basis, I have 200 left. Get it on long-term things, guys. Avoid getting credit for groceries, entertainment, and stuff. Like for me, I always feel like credit helps people that are lower income that still want to live like anyone else. Because like someone who's lower income needs to buy a phone on credit, because even if it's a high sense, like for that 1,000, at least they are paying like 25 rand for the next 12 months, or excuse my simple maths, let's say they're paying 100 rand for the next 12 months, 1,200 plus interest, maybe 1,005. So they're going to pay for 24 months or however long period. But as long as you're responsible and you're aware that as long as the credit stays below what's a bit extra in my account, I can be able to have some of the things. And if you actually pay it well, it can allow you to get some more to be able to afford some things. And I feel like
The key word is paying.
Credit can help you out in things that you want, but a lot of people like now, get too excited once all these banks, accounts, whatever approach you. You don't need everything. Just get what you need. Or if you don't need it at all, just don't get it and leave it at that.
And
because for the longest time, I think that's why people are always crying, yo, my salary comes in, then debitors are gone. If you don't want that reality, just,
stick to, like, it always goes back to, like, two things with credit. Credit is good as long as you can pay for it. And credit is not a bad thing. It's how people use it that's bad. And then the second thing is, everything is actually okay as long as it's within your means.
Yes.
And, just one last thing as we close that I want to say is that just because you are offered credit, it doesn't mean you can afford it.
Yes.
And just because credit is available, it doesn't mean that you need it. Don't try to find a need for taking that credit. As soon as you start thinking to yourself, oh, okay, there's that there, maybe I can do 1, 2, 3, 4, it means you don't need it. Because when you need it, your first thought is, okay, I need this. Where can I get money from with the money I have? And then you get to a point of, okay, I don't have the money. If I don't do this thing right now, does it help me? No, it doesn't.
Like we said, FOMO is not a need.
FOMO
We are going to end that conversation here where we say FOMO is not a need. So in your decision making of getting credit, if it's based on anything FOMO, even with furniture, how your place looks and everything
I just
like
need a
that.
change.
No, that's FOMO. And if at that time you can't afford it, you can live with the things you currently have. Yes, there's currently a lot of judgment on the internet. Guys, please, there's even judgment on people not changing bedding. People can't change their bedding. Okay, wash your bedding.
And also, is the internet paying you?
I want to say wash your bedding, but it doesn't matter. You have to. If that's the bedding you'll have for 3 years and you don't get into credit, rather that than get a home chores account.
Bro,
that's also credit.
Bro. And like and
that's my piece.
And guys, one more thing. Nah. When you're at that place, for example, if you're working, because a lot of people get into the working space and they've never had a clothing account or any type of credit. Just a piece of advice that I've heard, and I would also do myself if you're starting out the credit journey. Don't open a clothing account. If you're working, don't open a clothing account. Open a credit card, because a credit card can help you. Like, you can even take your salary.
And you can get more things, because if you get like a clothing account, you can only buy from Mr. Price.
Yes.
And you're just wasting money.
Exactly. And with the credit card, you can take your salary and dump it all into your credit card and pay your expenses from there, and then just still use your salary and not use the money that's on credit. And on the credit bureau, wherever, it will still show that you have the credit, and it will still show that you're paying your credit account every month, because the money is still
credit,
there. You're
and
not
it flows.
taking. Exactly. And the salary will still be going into your main account, and it's fine. Again, we're not financial advisors or anything like that. Don't take my word and say, yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's the way to go. I'm just saying something that
I think financial advisors are the best.
Financial
not
advisors
really
are ones.
From what I've learned, but they're not. They suck. Especially like financial advisors. Maybe when you're rich, but once you start to be like middle class, you start being assigned like Discovery will assign you a financial. They suck so much.
But
oh my
also,
God, they are horrible.
Also, if you're looking for a financial advisor, though, think about your goals and then try to find somebody that's done that. Those financial advisors that are hired by Discovery, Liberty, whatever, they're just
meant
people
to make you
in
take
a job.
more products as well.
Exactly. Like you.
How boring.
Bruh. Anyway, guys, just
Thank you
want
so
to
much.
say a big shout out to Smack Pizza Company in Greenstone
Greenstone.
Hill for letting us shoot here. We always chill here anyway, and they're like, we can shoot. I'll put the link to their Facebook below so you can see all the specials that they have. But it's in Green Valley. You can come try out their cocktails.
And they guys, I will, you know what, you know me, I never lie about everything. They make the best cocktails. I swear. Like everywhere I've been, the cocktails are too sweet, they're too like they're just bad. These ones are good. They are good,
In
and
fact,
they have
they
specials.
deserve a second cheers to more living.
Thank you.
So yeah, guys, definitely come through and check Smack Pizza Company out in Greenstone. Thank you for tuning in. If you're this far and you're watching us on YouTube and the subscribe button is red, dog, hit the subscribe button, press the notification bell, and the all option. If you're listening to us on Spotify, Apple Music, or whatever podcasting platform that has join, follow, or whatever, please join and like let's interact. And if you have questions for us, you can follow us on Instagram at the Ngwenyas House, or drop us an email, ngwenyashouse@gmail.com, and we'll chat about those things on the podcast. We'll see you in 2 weeks with another podcast.
Bye.